Bears won't be able to hold Bitcoin down below $70,000 for much longer. In today's show, we're going to have a look at exactly why. We're going to have a look at how everything's lining up for an absolutely monumental trade, and why, if you wait any longer, you probably are going to be too late in entering into the market. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight into the show content. It is a sea of green, and we do have the bull market vibes fully back in force, right? It's feeling like that. My body is ready. My body is ready for the next move. I don't know about yours. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling. But if you look at that on the hourly, we've got some big movers over there. Daily's up, weekly's up. ApeCoin putting in massive moves over the weekend. We actually outlined ApeCoin over the course of the weekend with how easy it is for some of these coins to move within the gaming sector due to very, very, very low liquidity. But we said, it's worth throwing a little gamble in there if you have smaller accounts. But if you're somebody trading with a massive account, it's probably better to stick with the strong trending coins, the ones that have historically been the biggest movers. If you look over there on the monthly, very, very big moves across the board over here. Only a couple of coins in the top 100, which are still down. XRP being one of them, down 5% on the month. Yearly also very, very strong. And of course, it's been a meme dominated crypto cycle, right? All the biggest bubbles over here are meme coin related, other than Aero and Mantra over here, which are the only ones that are anywhere close to where the meme coins are. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at where the market is. Let's look at where the market's also going to go. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because of course, we are trying to update you every single day along the journey, as we have been for the past 2 years. So you can see the majority of the gains have come from shorts, which have been liquidated. The majority of the liquidity taken in the last 24 hours was shorts. If you look at the 24-hour long to short ratio, well, this actually just ticked up, because just before the show, I was having a look at this and it was about 50.05% on the long side. Now you're sitting at 51% on the long side, 48.9 on the short side. So keeping an eye out on this over here as the open interest, which is the green, does build towards the upside. We just need to see, that it's not going to be one more flush towards the downside, shaking out the late longs that are building up high leverage positions. I'll show you how you can identify that in a moment. But if you look at the orange line, this is a healthy sign. It's mostly been trending towards the upside. That shows you spot demand, right? These are spot buyers. They're not using leverage. They're literally just buying the underlying asset and holding on, right? And then you have the white line over here, which is the aggregate futures funding rates. And that's been pretty flat over here. I was showing you that, it is a possibility that there could be a little bit more shorts to be squeezed out of the market over here, and that could get them converting into longs, chasing price higher. So I'm keeping an eye out on this, right? This is Bitcoin price on the top. This is your aggregate open interest on the bottom over here, and you can see the way it's just been marching price onwards and upwards, right? Every time that the open interest does get into this region, there is a little bit of a flash towards the downside. That creates the Bitcoin pullbacks, but then they quickly absorb once again and price grinds up. So open interest at a range high, looking to break out over here. We're seeing a lot of signs, right? If you look at this over here, this gives you a better visual of how the open interest has really skyrocketed above the Bitcoin price over here and above the prior range levels that we had in the previous parts of the cycle. What this tells me is I think that there's a good chance that this is smart money that's building up long positions in anticipation of a major breakout. And I'll tell you why. The reason why is if you have a look at the price action over here, the open interest tends to follow along very similarly to what we see with the retail interest. Now, the easiest metric to gauge the retail interest, and we know we get smart retail and then we get dumb retail. The dumb retail come right at the very, very end of the cycle. Now, for the most part, you would expect that these two metrics would mirror each other, right? So the best thing to look at is the YouTube views. How many people are viewing the various different crypto YouTube channels? And it looks like this, right? So we can reset that zoom over there. And if we do that, while that loads up, there you go. You can see this should mimic more or less what you're seeing with the open interest. When the YouTube views are at the highest, the open interest is also at its highest. And if you look at this, the YouTube views taken from since the corrective phase of there have literally just been down only. And if you look at this over here and we zoom into the same period over here, well, this was down only until recently where it started to spike up, showing open interest is about to break out. And that tells me that it probably means it's smart money building up long positions in anticipation of the big breakout that's about to occur. And then you're going to see late retail or dumb retail come back into the market, and the YouTube views are going to spike and they're going to chase price, right? And therefore, if you're here today, you're probably still early enough. But if you come even as soon as tomorrow, we could be only hours away from a breakout. It's probably going to be too late. And that's where you're going to start to see the funding rates increase, right, in terms of percentage, and the colors over here are going to go into that yellow and orange, and then we know that becomes dangerous territory. Right now, we're still not in dangerous territory, and you can see the order block that we outlined last week is pretty much playing out to perfection, with now multiple candle closes on the total cryptocurrency market cap. This is, in fact, on your daily time frame. So if we use a tool over here and we look at that, we now have 7 candle closes, a full week's worth of closing candles outside of the downsloping trend line, thus creating the order block. Order blocks technically create that springboard environment which catapults prices high, and we're expecting the next move to take price all the way up into, of course, this resistance level over here, which is your range high, and possibly even above it. Now, we're expecting new inflows to come into the market. I'm also going to show you why. There's a whole lot that's lining up over here for the next big move. We also have Bitcoin dominance pressing up towards the top side over there, and sooner or later, this is going to break down. You know, by the end of this year, I think Bitcoin dominance is breaking down. So if you have a high time frame perspective and you're a value investor or swing trader looking for the next big moves over the coming 6 to 12 months, the biggest moves are probably going to be in the altcoin sector, because in the next 3 months or so, and it could be next week, it might only be in December, but within 3 months or so, I expect this should break down. We would have seen the Bitcoin dominance top, and then the altcoin sector will fly. And we're getting another warning sign, right? If you look at the USDT dominance, that's the tether dominance. This is breaking its upsloping trend line over here, so showing a real shift in momentum. What this means is, remember, this is new money that's going to flow out of Tether. Sidelined individuals which have been stacking Tether or stable coins are going to start to move into the market. Naturally, if this breaks down over here, you expect that money flows back into the market, and you could be looking at a move from 5% all the way down into that between 3.2 and about 3.6% territory would be the measured move off of this breakdown of the USDT dominance. So I wrote this tweet this morning. You know, what do you think happens, right? What do you think happens when you leave a 7-month trading range? You know, some say it's 8 months, give or take. I'm going with a more conservative one. 7-month trading range off of very low historical volatility. You're leading into an election phase with a transition from quantitative tightening into now quantitative easing. And it's the end phase of the 18.6-year real estate cycle, also known as the winner's curse. What do you think happens next? Please let me know in the comment section. And if you said you think the market's going to pump, well, smash the like button, because that is what I believe as well. And there's multiple other confluent factors that we can look at, right? Like the breakdown of the USDT dominance, that's the one thing to look at. And then here's your 18.6-year cycle, right? We're moving into this phase where the markets go full vertical, and we're seeing it already in gold, breaking out to new all-time highs, pretty much moving up almost in a 90-degree fashion, right? Absolute parabolic moves, the stock market, new all-time closing highs each and every single day and week. That is incredibly bullish, and it is that full vertical phase of there. And you have a cheat code. It could never be any easier than it is right now. When you have all of these things coming together, you have all the evidence set right before you, yet so many coins are still being suppressed or have not yet broken out. Of course, it's going to play catch up to the rest of the markets. It's going to play catch up to gold. It's going to play catch up to the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's going to catch up to the M2 money supply, which is also about to break out. And you should have a full-on up-only environment. This has been the easiest bull market ever. It's never been easier to read the market and what comes next. And there it is, right? Here's your M2 money supply taken all the way from the 60s. Of course, absolute face melting moves towards the upside, with the biggest period of tightening ever occurring following the 2021 bull market peak that we had within crypto, where they tightened all the way down. And now you can see the M2 money supplies once again rising towards the upside and starting to break on, you would expect. This is, of course, going to take out those previous highs. The M2 money supply is going to expand well beyond that level over there and that threshold. And that's what brings those absolutely face-melting bull markets. Not only that, but if we look at the liquidity tsunami that is on its way, the US Treasury plans to spend about $500 billion by year end, right? And you can see that by the dark line. That is ultimately their least prediction of where things are going to go. And on top of that, he says over here from Milk Road, if approved, changes to the discount window could add an additional $500 billion on top of that in liquidity, and that would be your light blue line. And that means 40% of the entire crypto market cap is about to enter into capital markets. Not only that, but you also have $7 trillion worth of money caught in money markets, where as they cut interest rates and they cut the interest rate down within the US, that money will need to flow somewhere where it's going to get better returns, and a lot of that will flow into the stock market, right? So you have this period where you have real estate, which is running first. So let's go to that chart over there. Real estate, which is running first into new all-time highs. Gold breaks into new all-time highs. Stock market breaks into new all-time highs. $7 trillion worth of assets comes from the money markets, as well as the US Treasury markets, an additional trillion on top of that, flowing all into the S&P 500. Eventually, people start to say, you know what, this thing has run too far, too fast. I think I'm going to look for better returns elsewhere. Where's there a little bit of a lagging market? Maybe let's try our hand at crypto. And some of that spills over. While simultaneously, then you have the breakdown of the USDT dominance, bringing additional capital, and the breakdown of the Bitcoin dominance. And then it's just a party, guys. I mean, that's it. We had to celebrate. This is what happens next. The banana zone, right? Then you move into the banana zone. We have seen the banana zone before, right? If you have a look at that, this was 2011, of course, leading into 2012 with the boring time, the consolidation, and banana zone enters the market, right? And it looks crazy. It looks fake. You can go back and look at the chart yourself. Go and have a look at the chart, compress it into that time period, and you'll see that's exactly what happened. 2014, lead into the bear market. 2015, 2016, 17, short-term consolidation creates the big order block, leads to the banana zone, right? 2019, same thing, bear market. We had a harder market to trade over there because the whole world shut down with COVID, and consequently, you had the secondary dip. But nevertheless, without failure, you lead into the boring zone and then the banana zone, right? And now we're going into, of course, the next banana zone, which things are about to leave, right? Everything is about to leave the station. So all you need to do is have your bags packed, right? Have your bags packed. If you do want to have your bags packed and you're looking for a place, by the way, to buy crypto, 𝗬𝗥 has an amazing spot exchange there, as well as futures leverage. And you can see over here, this is the bonus, right? If you sign up, 0% make a fee and 0.04% take a fees. That means it's cheap to trade. They're very, very cheap. And if you sign up to 𝗬𝗥 today, you could get up to 10,000 USDT in sign-up bonuses. So in anticipation for the banana zone, you can see, well, this is the long-term range. What do you think happens when you break out of that 7-month range? 221 days since the top to the bottom over there. We played it to absolute perfection. Any of you that were around, you'll remember we outlined exactly these vertical lines, saying this is where the action will occur. This is the pivot point. This is the transition that's going to take place within the market. And look at that. Hindsight is 2020. Unless you're watching the show, then it's not, because we said this well in advance, and you can see there it is, right? The pivot level has played out. Everything has transitioned, and we're about to take out those highs. Remember, the longest correction we've ever had was 222 days in a bull market. That is taken from high to the next point where you take out that high, 222 days. Therefore, this is probably going to be the longest one unless we make all-time highs today. This is why we're hours to days away from probably creating all-time highs and breaking above that $70,000 level. This 69K level is a very, very significant area to flip into support. It's been causing a lot of mayhem within the market, right? You can see this whole area over here has taken forever to flip around the 69K zone. The second that you can flip this into support, you should see price mark up into the banana zone very, very quickly, right? And then we're leading into the election phase. You guys know what that means, the 5th of November. That is usually where we see things run up. Not only that, but we have the weekly MACD cross, which is about to take place over here. The histogram's already started to turn green, trending towards the upside. New momentum is coming in. And sometimes you can at least make it as simple as this, as a MACD, right? The last time Bitcoin had a bullish weekly MACD crossover was exactly 1 year ago. What's important about that is the seasonality. We spoke about looking for a seasonal low in the month of August, and that's exactly what we got. And then we said we're looking for a seasonal markup in the month of October to November, right? And you can see over that exactly 1 year ago in October 2023, it crossed towards the upside. Bitcoin went from $29,000 up to $72,000 in the following 5 months. So up more than 100%, which means that would put Bitcoin at about $140,000 if something like that actually were to take place. So not only that, this is the bullish show, right? If you wanted your bullish 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓, I'm here for you guys. Smash the like button because there's a lot of bullish 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬 over here. We have the big cup and handle formation. I don't know if you remember, we spoke about this months ago over here. I said this is what you should expect is going to occur over here. It's just going to be a melt-up like this, right? And that's exactly what's happening, right? And we're about to cross the zone. So in relation to these charts that I showed you over here, this boring zone, this consolidation before the banana zone, this is what it would look like on a chart, right? This is the boring zone, that zone over there, before the banana zone. Where do you confirm the banana zone? When you start to close a monthly candle, above the prior range levels, which is going to be, at least on my chart, I have it at about $72,000. Close a monthly candle above $72,000 and you're in the banana zone, and that's where things go vertical. The only problem with that is sometimes you can get these massive expansive candles like you've seen over here, here, and consequently, you probably want your bags packed well before, as opposed to waiting for the clearance of that level. Because what happens if this monthly candle closes at $80,000? Now you're taking on significantly more risk, having to buy higher. And where do you put your invalidation at that point, right? Whereas if you're watching the show throughout over here, we kept it very, very simple. Invalidation was below there, then below there, and we just slowly scaled up whilst compounding all of our long trades that we've had for the past 2 years, right? And you can see over here also big cup and handle formation coming off low volatility as per the tweet that I've given over there. That's what happens when you leave a long-term range. You're breaking out of the order block, at least the handle from the cup and handle formation, and you can even view this as a bull flag, right? Just every single way you slice it, it's nothing but bullish. It's very hard to be bearish over here when you look at the current price action. Everything is looking good for continuation. And I warned so many times, forget about the geopolitical tensions and all of that. It's not going to be relevant, right? Trade the chart that's in front of you and watch as price action goes up. Everything is looking good. You broke the stop and reversal indicator over here, which I told you is now going to start to rapidly incline, right, and climb towards the top side over there. So basically, you've created a scenario where you have free skies above, open air, no resistance, and things should be looking good for continuation. So there it is. The full bull signal was already given well in advance, and now you're starting to turn your purple moving average towards the upside. This is kind of the final bit of resistance, but I think it should be like a hot knife through butter coming through this level over here. And currently, I am 100% long in the market, right? So the only way I could get any more long in the market is if I borrowed money or took out leverage, right? Taking out leverage is essentially borrowing money. So there it is, looking good above the pivot level. The RSI is trending towards the upside so long as price is above this yellow line over here, and that's currently the case. So we are looking for a further push up, right? Now, again, this becomes an important resistance level. Why? Well, going back to the Wyckoff accumulation schematic that we've been tracking for quite some time, if you can get above that pink box that I just highlighted, this will confirm that you're in the SOS phase. Now, you'll be lucky if you get a consolidation there. Remember, sometimes these breakouts happen very, very quickly, and you don't always get the little chop like this to allow you to re-enter based on a confirmation and a breakout. So please keep that in the back of your mind. We covered a whole lot. You've broken above the high volume resistance already. So the final thing to get into that phase E, remember these are divided up into phases. You transitioned from phase C, which was the spring phase, into phase D, and now phase E would be if you get into the SOS phase, which is right over here, right? So this is the final level to get above. And again, no guarantees that you're going to see something like this, which is like the image suggests, where you get this little consolidation. That confirms the SOS, allows you to establish additional positions, and then off it goes, right? It could be an environment where, you just see things rally with very, very, very shallow dips, because leading into the banana zone, that's what you expect will happen within crypto. Psychologically, it leaves everyone behind, right? You have to understand, following a prolonged period of chop, the human mind has been conditioned to accept this as normal. So when you start to see something like this with shallow dips, the human mind cannot grasp what is going on, and consequently, they need time to sit and think about it. The problem is, as they sit and think about it, prices are already trading much, much higher, and you've pretty much missed the entire boat. And this is why it's important that you watch the show every day, even during the boring times. You'll remember during these boring times, I told you now is the most important time to watch, because this is actually where you establish those rock solid positions when you have these high volume breakdowns that break back into the range. It fails to break down. That confirms your spring phase, and that's how we knew that this is most likely what's going to occur next. So if you want to learn more about this, by the way, 100% free. Join into Whale School, 9 days, 5 hours left to join. Click the sign up link over here. It will take you through to another page, and then just fill in your details, and then you can unlock full access to Whale School. So we proudly put 70,000 people through this course. Absolutely amazing experience. What an honor, right? What an honor. Okay, fear and greed. Now, I just want to showcase to you, yes, we're in the 70 to 80 fear and greed index levels right now. But if you go over here and we put on even on 90 to 100, you can see these periods are what lead to the biggest moves, right? 90 to 100 was this period over here that led to the 2021 peak. Right now, we are still sitting at 70 to 80. So again, it's about this psychological shift. As I just showcased, using a long-term range, when you start to leave that, the human mindset struggles to fathom how fast things can move. And consequently, now you might be thinking, well, it's 70 to 80. I haven't entered the market. This is too late to enter. But I can tell you it's probably not too late. But if you do enter off of the next expansion, that's where it becomes incredibly dangerous to start to get into the market for the first time. So let's see what's happening in traditional markets. I haven't even brought up the S&P 500 chart. Guys, trust me, it's at all-time highs. The only thing that's interesting over here when it comes to TradFi right now that's not at all-time highs is the DXY. And we don't want it to go to all-time highs, right? We want the DXY to break down from this level. And we saw our first daily candle showing some signs of weakness. Following what we outlined was the 14 days of upward movement. And then we're looking for some sort of a pause or rejection from this region. So we'll keep an eye on this. You know, if this does reject, the DXY breaks down the dollar index, that will also bring the new liquidity into the market, as we've outlined, coming from money markets, etc., as well as seeing the USDT dominance break down. That means more money coming into crypto. And then the Bitcoin dominance breaks down. That means all that money from Bitcoin could start to move into the altcoins, which is where you get those great moves, right? So we're keeping an eye on that, still waiting. Top performers, look at that, Solana, right? This is, if you look at the volume, right? So Solana is doing more volume than the entire Ethereum and L2 ecosystem over the last 24 hours. Solana put in a big move. Good news, it took out the resistance, right? So we can go over here to Solana. Look at that. I told you on Saturday, you want to stick with the winners, right? The winning positions tend to continue to be the winners, because this is what the world's about, right? The Pareto principle, winner takes all, right? This is how things work. And it took me a long time to understand that. But there it is. Solana, we said, really, really important. You don't want to, it looks kind of choppy, messy, all over the place over here. What you want to see from Solana bulls is for them to take the bull by the horns and run it through the resistance. And they did that, right? They did exactly that, which is a good sign. Confirmation above this 160 to 165 level, holding it as support, should mean continuation up to the top side over here at about 205 becomes your next resistance overhead. And then like Bitcoin, right, we'll just be waiting for that sign of strength. You treat it in the same way. This is also a Wyckoff accumulation schematic over here, right? You'd view this as your spring phase over here, slightly lagging Bitcoin because Bitcoin's trading probably in relation to this chart somewhere around here. So slightly lagging. If you can get Solana to continue up, you transition from phase D into phase E. This is where your sign of strength occurs. SOS phase, right? Save our Solana, sign of strength, and things go up from that point onwards, right? Then you get your markup phase, and you actually have a measured move on this already. The break of this rectangle should take Solana up to $292, so just shy of $300. So you can think to yourself, well, if Solana is going to do that, let's see again over here, if Solana is going to do that, again, we say high probability, another 73% up for Solana. What does that mean for the meme coins on Solana, or for if you don't like meme coins, you know, any of the lower cap things on Solana, it would probably mean that they're going to do about 4 times this. Then you're going to be looking at 300 to 400% moves in that sector, right? So I definitely don't think it's too late. The winners that I've picked previously continue to still remain the winners, at least in my eyes. I actually want to have a look at a couple of them. One that's at least pulled a little bit of price action back in terms of the bulls is Casper, but it's not good enough yet, right? Casper, like I said about Solana before, needs to take the bull by the horns and run this thing through 14. That's what you need to see. If Casper doesn't do that, it definitely is possible that this rejects and comes down lower, right? So, but I told you it's unlikely if your bias is bullish on Bitcoin. Generally, when Bitcoin goes up, all the other coins will go up more than Bitcoin, right? At this point in the cycle, there's a point in the cycle where you go on this Bitcoin dominance insane rally, which we identified very, very clearly from the range lows on Bitcoin dominance. And we had a predominantly strong Bitcoin portfolio, other than holding a big Solana position because Solana outperformed Bitcoin. But now it's starting to get to a point where, of course, if Bitcoin is going to run up over here, most of these alts are going to hold these levels. They're going to break back into the range over there, and then you're going to have continuation. So Casper, obviously, also one in our portfolio. Let's have a look at how Sui doing. Okay, I told you the most bullish thing possible for Sui is actually for this to just chop around, right? This needs to rest. It needs to settle. It needs to form a range over here because it's had a huge move. The alternative is, it's going to break down. I think it's incredibly unlikely. The low probability move is parabola towards the upside from this point when you've already had such a strong move. It's just not that likely. Ton, okay, still, chopping about. I would still be waiting for this either smash down into 450. We find our entry over there. Otherwise, you need to wait for more structure to develop over here on Ton, right? So that is Ton. Mantra, we're still holding over here, but it is showing some signs over here, right? Some signs. Now, very few people will share this with you, but there it is. This is zooming in. I've been monitoring this channel quite carefully, this horizontal over here. You have the upsloping trend line. You're starting to break below. I must be honest, I think that Mantra could come down a bit, right? There's your range levels. In order for this, unless this snaps back like this quickly inside, then you consider that a shakeout. Otherwise, this is probably going to distribute now. There will probably be profit taking over there. So range lows, holding a support. You're now breaking below that support, following a massive buildup of liquidity. That's on your 4-hour time frame for Mantra, right? Let's go to 𝗬𝗓. I see there is some questions around 𝗬𝗓 over here. So let's hit it. What's happening on 𝗬𝗓? Okay, still chopping about, more or less in the same place. 𝗬𝗓 will probably play quite a big role, in the next narrative within the cycle as things heat up. So it is one to keep an eye on. I have about 1% of my portfolio. I think it's about 1% in 𝗬𝗓, which I established down at these current levels over here. So maybe I'll build it up. I'll see. We have to rebalance the portfolio at some point. And then again, let's go to some of the meme coins, right? So some of the top picks, let's quickly have a look through. Okay, Brett. Let's see Brett. This is one of the picks, right? Brett's still looking decent over here, holding up. We said, this zone over here coming in at 10 cents is an important level to hold for Brett. If it can hold that, looking for continuation upwards. So your validation would now be below that 10 cents on a long, right? Next meme coin. Let's quickly double check Doge. Okay, looking good, right? Looking good. Breaking out of the falling wedge formation. You're seeing some of the really, really OG large cap memes beginning to rally up over here. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Okay, 𝗏𝗏. Doing very, very well. A little bit of profit taking over there. But remember, we established our positions at the range lows over here at 14 cents. So give it a bit of time. The day's just open. But I mean, this ran up 90%. Of course, a little bit of profit taking, still up 54% since our position and our entry. And I think this is one of the strongest meme coins that's out there. Giga, also very, very strong. Similar to 𝗏𝗏, a little bit of profit taking over there. But nevertheless, closing all-time highs is the name of the game, and that's looking good. Next one, what else have we got? Popcat. Let's have a look at Popcat. Okay, also looking good. Not new closing all-time highs, but getting close. And then, of course, we need MOG. Where's our MOG coin over here? MOG, where are you? We got the MOGs and the dogs. Wait, where is it? Here's MOG. Okay, good. Really, really good. MOG looking super strong. Continuation onwards and upwards. I think that this is going to push up all the way to the top side of this channel over here. This has got another 37%, right? And we'll keep you up to date on that. New, obviously, very, very good. Unfortunately, it's not one in my portfolio, but very, very good. 𝗦 is trading at all-time highs. So very, very strong over there from the meme coin sector. Okay, what else have we got? Guys, drop your comments or your requests over there in the comment section, and I'll make sure to pull those up. While I wait for your requests to come in, and we'll chart a few more, I'll let you know that Atom also had a little bit of a move, right? One of our coaches within Whale Room, Chris, got it over there, 166% move, amazing trade. And then also another one of our coaches, Farouk, absolutely phenomenal trade. Look at that, absolute banger over here. What time frame did he take this one on? Daily time frame. Look at that candle, 600% move. Absolutely huge over there. Guys, what can you expect from Whale Room? Well, Scott recently joined. This is what he said. The Whale Room has been the most profitable tool that I've ever bought to produce money. Thank you, Kyle, Chris, and the team. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Scott Douglas, for joining in. If you do want to join, guys, there's a link that will take you to Whale Room. It's in the description. Go to the description, click on that. Remember, the pricing will go up, so you'll be locked in at this price if you do join now. Cool. Let's continue. Let's continue. What coins do we have? Okay. Mumu. Yeah, let's have a look at Mumu. Let's grab Mumu the bull. How's Mumu doing? I do have a Mumu position as well. Probably not as big as I want it to be, but I do have a Mumu position. Let's quickly pull that up. I think I charted on another. Let's go to this one over here rather, because I already charted over here. Klaus, by the way, Klaus holding up over here, guys. You can see the bullish demand coming in on those candles. This is probably around the $30 million mark, defending that zone over there. I think this one will also probably trend to new all-time highs. Okay, Mumu. Let's go to Mumu on this chart. Just because I'd already charted this one, this is where we established our long positions previously on this coin. So daily time frame, let's switch it over there. This is a little bit slow compared to TradingView, but nevertheless, there it is, right? So range loads, this is where our entries were. Had you taken that trade with us, 130% up, looking good, right? I'll just continue to hold. Really, there's not much else to say over here. I know that there's not that much supply to go around. They're not doing like big KOL deals or any of that kind of stuff. So higher highs, higher lows, just continue to hold this for the long term. I think it could do pretty well. Okay, what other ones do we have? Okay, 𝗬𝗓𝗎𝗓. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to try and have a look for it. 𝗬𝗓𝗎𝗓. Let's see. 𝗬𝗓𝗎𝗓. Wait. We'll do some of these random requests today. Okay, 𝗬𝗓𝗎𝗓, 2 years old. So not bad. $24.37 million market cap with 8,000 holders. Look, it's not as pretty as the other charts, but I guess if you got in early, it's probably worth holding for the long run, right? Massive long-term accumulation. Very, very difficult to chart something like this. All that I can comment over here is that, that's pretty much the area of interest. That is ultimately the range low. Above it is good, below it is bad. You're above it now. So as long as it holds that, that's fine, right? Okay, Sigma and autism. I know there's been a lot of excitement around autism. So let's pull up autism first, and then we'll go to Sigma. Okay, I think it's this one over here. 8.98 million, come down a lot, right? Remember, one of the Whale Room members was saying he was up so much, what should he do? And it was at $16 million market cap, which was over here. And I said, like, look, I would definitely take a little bit of profit over there. This one is coming down. Watch for the pullback into the range highs. This is all you have to work with, right? 0.0059. That's probably the next buy zone if it does hold that. Okay, Sigma. Let's go to Sigma. Okay, Sigma. Is this the correct one? Let's see. It should be Sigma on Sol. $52.23 million market cap. Now, this is going to be similar to what I just mentioned with the other one. You got your range high breakout level. But, I would first watch this level over here. If it loses 0.0496, which is this zone over here, and to do this, you need to go on a lower time frame, right? You need to look on the 4 hour like this. And this is the only problem, right? This is putting in lower highs and equal lows. That's a descending triangle. Sometimes, not always, because the preceding trend is towards the upside. So it would be more significant if the trend was coming from the downside, then into a descending triangle. Then it becomes a high probability breakdown. But I would just watch this level over here. You need to see that these wicks hold up. If you start to close any more candles underneath that 0.055, then the chances are this is where you're coming next, right? You're going to come down into this zone. And then I think you probably find support at 0.021, right? Okay, Retardio. Yeah, let's have a look at Retardio. This is also one of my big positions. Okay, 18.5% up. I love it. The portfolio is definitely looking very healthy this morning, I must say. Let's go into a daily time frame. Okay, Retardio on Solana. All right, I seem to have lost all my drawings. Where did the drawings go? That's unfortunate. But we entered down here on the bottom of this range over here. We're viewing this as a key zone. This was the area. So all in all, what I say about this chart looks good. You can see that this is your prior range highs or your all-time highs. You came to backtest that as support. This is similar to what Bitcoin's doing right now, creating the order block that's probably going to lead into the next expansive move. So I think Retardio looks good over there. All right. What else, guys? Mooding. Let's see. How's Mooding done? Surely this thing is like getting faded at this point. I feel like Mooding's, this thing got mega hype. Yep, you see, I'm right. There we go. I also drew this one. And where are my drawings? Because I said, mark my words, it's coming down into this zone. I know you might not want to hear that. I do apologize, but this is the zone that is coming down into 0. If you look over there, 0. A lot of zeros, right? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, and then 7, 4. I think that's the level it's going to be coming back down into that zone. Okay, what else, guys? What else? Let me know. We'll take a couple more. Also, I do want to just remind you, 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗕, if you are looking for an exchange to trade on, absolutely amazing. No KYC over here. And you have 4 days left to join to claim your $10,000 in USDT sign-up bonuses. I am looking to open a whole lot of trades over there, so get ready. This is going to be one of my predominant trading exchanges. We said we'll build up those low leverage positions that we're going to hold for the rest of the cycle on this exchange. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because, of course, we're still in the ByBit World Series of Trading competition, which is also here if you still want to participate. I'm in a trade right now, so I think I am up about 25 or 30%, give or take, on a heavy hitter account, whatever they call those things. They've tiered them, right? In a small account, medium account, big account. So I chose the big account. Okay. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu is the request. And I do agree, we should probably have a look at what Bitcoin is doing. Let's see Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing over here? Because this is also one of my positions, so we do have to have a look at this. All right, yeah, looking good. So it's broken above this pivot level over here, consolidating, high highs, high lows is the name of the game. Trend is your friend till the end. Continue to hold that until the end, right? It's looking really, really strong over there. That's it from me, folks. I'll see you all on the next one. Have an absolutely stellar day, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's show. Cheers for now.